everybody, it's Calxiyn here, and remember that if you guys enjoyed the video, you guys should join our Discord server and come hang out with us, or you should become patrons over on Patreon to help support the channel. And now I can't find what order I have my papers in, because if you guys aren't aware, I make notes when we do these things.
How unprofessional. You didn't even fucking make them.
What?
Just look for the one where you presumably talk about Ozpin and
I know, that's
Crow.
what I'm doing! Okay, anyway, so this episode was very interesting.
We're just gonna fill it with random
I found
filler,
it.
more
Alright.
than normal.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to do a separate video about this, but what Ozpin is saying at the beginning of the episode really mirrors Blake and what she says at the end of the episode. That Ozpin says that, yes, there's a lot of, like, people, like, there's a lot of us in humanity that have a lot of, like, I think he said, like, he didn't say hate, he used another word. But basically, like, a lot of hate in their hearts, but, like, I think that there's more that don't, sort of thing, and Blake kind of echoed that at the end, so I'd like to do a separate video on, like, mirroring in this episode, because I feel like it was done really well. Another example of what I'm talking about is how, Leonardo says that he doesn't have a choice and that Ozpin would never forgive him, and then Blake forgiving Ilya as a sort of comparison. You see what I mean? Yeah. And so, like, the mirroring in this episode, it was on point, guys. It was on point. Anyway.
This also will be a very Blake-centric episode.
Yes. So Salem doesn't have the relic.
No. And the relic is also not...
and the relic is not Ozpin's cane.
Which was assumed, I think, by a lot of people.
And I'd like to do a separate video on this as well, because Ozpin was like, oh, don't worry, I made it a little more challenging than I did at all the other schools. I don't know why Ozpin sounds like that. But I feel like they did that specifically just for the fans, to calm some people down. Yeah, exactly.
Also, raises the question, exactly where is it, and what did he do?
I don't know, but I have some ideas. That's why I want to make a separate video about it. Anyway, so that was interesting. So, Salem doesn't have it. Beacon's relic was a little more challenging, you know what I mean? Because, okay, that makes sense, right? Because if they have the relic of choice at Beacon, you know, creation, destruction, and, like, the rest, like, all of that is fine and good and dandy.
Destruction? So how much trouble could someone get with the relic of destruction?
Manipulating somebody's choice or manipulating somebody's freedom, like, almost tricking people to fight for you sort of thing, like, with that relic, like, that is worse, I would argue.
You'd imagine he'd do it to as many of them as possible. You know, you've only had multiple lifetimes, but, you know, I don't judge.
Whatever. He wanted to make his a bit more impressive. I don't know. Anyways. So RWBY's voice was not annoying in this episode, so I feel like we gotta give this episode another gold star, like among this episode's gold stars, because this episode was probably, I don't want to say it was the best episode of RWBY, because I think that's a little bit...
It's up there.
It's definitely up there, but...
It was definitely one of the best episodes so far.
Yeah.
In
the volume, I'm pretty sure this was the best episode.
This and the Ilya conversation was also really good.
I think the episode with the Ilya conversation. Yes. But that episode also had some issues, right? With, like, jumping back and forth, didn't it? Also, I really liked, I think it was the opening episode where we got to see Yang fight and then fight the bandits. Yeah. But, like, I think this is the best episode of the volume right now. Like, I feel like it hit us in all the right places.
I mean, it definitely
and it actually had a fight scene,
it was meant to be, like, a bit of a crescendo.
It was, yeah, and I think that's really nice, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I'm surprised they didn't leave us on, like, a cliffhanger, if that makes sense. But I have some ideas for what they're doing that I'm going to talk about in this video, because I'm not going to be like, hey guys, like, what's next? Like, these are basically just advertisements for all of our other videos throughout the week. Sometimes that's not what I'm doing this time. I want to explain later after we get to the good stuff. So apparently the cane has a bunch of magical powers or something, but being the relic is not one of them. And I'm like, okay, Ozpin, whatever. Also, I'm articulating with my hands a lot, but you guys can't see me. So just imagine, you know, whatever. Okay. So I was a bit confused during our reaction, and you guys will see that next week or this week if you're patrons. I was a bit confused because I didn't understand what Raven was doing talking to Lionheart. But more on Lionheart, though. I think I kind of understand now. It's that Raven went to go talk to him because, Raven went to go talk to him because Cinder was probably like, okay, we got Lionheart on this too. And I think she did actually say that.
Yeah,
that Lionheart
was. There was no reason for you to be confused. They explained
No,
everything.
that's not what I mean. But I didn't understand, like, why is she talking to him and not to Crow? But now I kind of see what she's doing. She still needs to keep up the charade that she's acting on Cinder's side, right? And so what better way to do that than to fly over to the school and have a chat with him, you know what I mean? Because at first I was like, well, fuck, why isn't she talking to Crow if she's gonna double team them? But I feel like that's gonna come way later, if she's gonna do it.
I'm sure Crow and Raven have double teamed people.
You understand?
Anyway.
Because they're twins? Is that what we're saying?
I'm sure that's a thing for people.
But you understand what I mean, right? So I was like, well, fuck, why aren't you talking to Crow? But now I understand. So she's keeping up the charade, and I think that's very smart of her.
Also, you got some interesting stuff with Leo that we already assumed he was a bitch, but now he admits,
well,
like,
we want to get to
I'm
that,
too.
So the raiding party has been agreed to, and that's when it clicked for me, that the reason why they now have a raiding party to go after the bandits is because they're probably going to send them on a wild goose chase and the bandits aren't going to be there anymore. Right? Because Raven, like, the only reason he was like, okay, sure, let's send them over to the bandits is because now Raven is on their side. Mm-hmm. You understand what I mean? And so now I'm like, all of the pieces come into place. What do you mean?
Hadn't they already sent the bandit, the hunt?
They were trying to find huntsmen to go to the bandits, right? But they didn't have any before. Or whatever, because they're all dead, like Crow said. But then Lionheart's like, ooh, I pulled some strings and now we can... Like, but no, Lionheart, they didn't do anything. It's just Raven came and was like, hey, listen, just tell Crow and we're gonna skip town, right? Because Raven did say to pack up camp. I'm guessing they are still gonna do that.
Also, it's confirmed that a lot of these hunts, like, I think...
Because Crow said all of them biting the dust, so that's a pretty good indication that they're dead. And Lionheart probably had a hand in that.
For killing them
but what I was saying about Raven was that, so she's basically like, okay, Lionheart, you know, we are going to, like, we're gonna send all of your huntsmen and people to the bandits, but then they're not gonna be there, and maybe we can sneak into the school and get the relic. Like, something like that. You know, she's trying to think of an alternative plan that doesn't involve Cinder at this current moment. And so I think that's really smart. And so Raven says that she never expected that he had the guts to betray him. And so does not having the guts make you a coward, or does not having the guts make you courageous in this case? Because she's saying, like, if I say, Hunter, you don't have the guts to, like, get on a skateboard or something, that means you're a coward, right?
And apparently afraid of skateboard.
Yeah, but, like, Raven says, I never thought that you would have the guts to betray Oz. So does that mean that he was more, like, he's more afraid of Salem than he is of Oz, or was that sort of a backhanded compliment?
I think
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I think he basically said out loud, like, no, I am more afraid of Salem than I am of Oz.
Well, yes, I think that's what we got, but I thought that
regardless, he's very conflicted and very scared either way, because I don't think he really trusts Raven. I don't think he really trusts Salem, doesn't really trust that Oz won't kill him anymore. Because
I thought that when she said that, it was almost a backhanding way of saying that Lionheart used to have courage, and now he's a coward. You know what I mean? Because she's like, I didn't think that you had the guts to betray Ozpin, but maybe it's because he was strong before and now he's weak. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about that too hard. It's just when
you've
when
never
she said
done that before, Cal.
I hope that you guys understand what I mean. I hope it's not too convoluted. But yeah, that's just the first thing I thought of, because you don't have the guts implies cowardism, but it would have been
cowardism.
Cowardice. But it would have been less of being a coward if. But then again, this is in Salem's eyes, right? And Salem sees going after your own as strength, and we kind of hear about that later. So anyway, you guys can talk about what that line means. It probably just sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. I was gonna say potato. I don't know why.
What? Sometimes a potato is just a potato, guy. Fuck me.
I know.
No, why? What?
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Sometimes a potato is just a potato?
So Raven says that she's not afraid, but she's just smart. And I feel like that, not that that's foreshadowing, but that's a bit like a nod to the audience, that the audience knows she's playing him, right? But Lionheart obviously doesn't.
I mean,
so Lionheart's like, call it what you will, you're a dumbass.
Through the conversation with Vernal,
exactly.
we like, openly realize that she's playing them. I also like the idea that maybe there could be like a Leo redemption.
Okay, but
we got one redemption, but with this, it's just like he admits that he knows what he's doing is wrong. So either he may go out in a ball of glory.
I wanna talk about that when we get to mirroring like the relationship between Blake and Iliad, of Blake and Lionheart. in the thing.
Oh, sure.
I don't mean like romantically.
Not like you fucking tell me about these videos anyway.
I told you earlier. I said it. I want to do a video on how the episode mirrors each other. These two halves, if you will. Anyway, so Raven says that she's not afraid and she's just smart. We all know that's kind of true. But then Lionheart's like, I'm calling you out on your shit, Raven. I know you're not. You're not shit about shit or whatever he said. That was the direct line, by the way. Anyways. And then Raven says that he should have no shame in doing what is necessary to keep him alive. But Lionheart's like, who are you trying to prove that to? Me or you? That's basically what he says in that line. And so I think that's a really nice line. And I really like Leo's voice actor. I wasn't too crazy about him before, but now I'm like, okay, he has more depth than like a casting call for old weary man. You know what I mean? Because that's all I can imagine they put down for him. Anywho's, I think that's pretty much it with that part of the episode, so if you want to move on. Unless you have anything else to say about Raven?
Well, I wanted to, but apparently it's being saved for a different video.
Oh, okay.
Your princess is in another castle.
Okay. Anyways, so during my reaction, and you guys will see this, I'm confused because I don't understand why Callie just stops what she's doing, but now I see that her gun ran out of ammo, and that's why she stopped shooting.
No, she just wanted to take a breather, Cal.
Also, I love that Callie just had like a lunch tray lying around and beat the shit out of
this
Uma.
person who's been built up to be like, he's the... You never even really see him
I like
fight.
how Uma said a line and I was just like, he's like, quiet now. Like, he's so fucking edgy. And...
Right. And then he was like, he was supposed to be like, oh, he's a bird person. He's so edgy.
Not a bird, he's
so
a bat person,
Batman. He's so edgy. He's so like... He's scary. Be threatened by him. Gets taken out with a fucking lunch tray over the head.
Okay,
Fuck,
so
that's hilarious.
I don't have any like real problems with this episode except for music, but I'll get into that later. But as a joke complaint, I wish that Callie used a frying pan and did some Rapunzel shit up in here.
Oh my god.
But
I like the serving tray. Callie kicked some ass.
Oh, but was that the same tray that she served Sun and them tea?
Maybe.
Like when they first all met.
Yeah,
That's a nice little roundabout way of clearing things up, you know? Anyway, so Ilya says that she doesn't Ilya's like, I don't want to fight you. She doesn't say it like that. But they're both standing on the balcony, and then Blake is just like, listen, we don't need to do this, and then Ilya says that she doesn't have a choice, and Ilya sounds like it's either Blake or Ilya. I can't really tell who it's supposed to be, but one of them sounds like they're beginning to cry, and this fits with Ilya crying later. But it may have been Blake now that I'm thinking. I watched this episode twice, and I still don't know who that like sniffle was meant to belong to. But like,
they were both
whatever.
tearing up by the end of it.
Yeah, but I mean at the beginning. So I thought I'll be honest, I saw that part in the rewind, but I forgot about it, and so I was excited all over again when we watched the episode, because my memory's horrible, and instead of, like, RWBY stuff,
I can attest to that.
My mind got filled with Socrates on Friday, because of our exams, as you guys know.
The one exam you had, don't bitch.
I have 2 exams.
Well, I had
so
4.
Fuck off. Anyways, and so, basically, the point is I forgot about it, and I was like, oh my god, but anyways. And so, I love how Ilya... Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to be talking about, it's all just me being excited about battle moves. If that makes sense. Okay,
oh God,
I'm sorry.
really?
So, okay, so I love
I really liked the fight scene.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so I love that Ilya did this thing where she, like, went whoosh and, like, stabbed down into the ground at the beginning, and then Blake had a clone there because she knew. Mm-hmm. And so... I'm starting to wonder if Ilya meant to go ham on that, because there's no way her sword would have cut through Blake's head.
So that totally... I said, like, oh, that looked to kill, and you're like, no. I'm like, no, that
No,
but
like that would have never gone through her head. That's not how skulls work. Like, if it came down on her like that, it would not... No, it would not.
It was a metal spike! You want to practice? Like, yes, that'll fuck you up.
Guys, if I get murdered, it's probably Hunter. I don't know. Like, I feel like she knew that Blake was gonna shadow clone, and that's why she did that.
I think they were trying to kill each other, and in fact, Ilya.
No, but then Ilya says, like, why don't you...
like, okay, Ilya was trying to fuck up Blake, but Ilya was like, why aren't you fighting harder? And because Blake's like, I'll do this.
I know, I'll get to that later, but
I'm
I feel
not
like...
a dumbass on the rude, like, Tumblr, like, feed thing. I fucking know that you're gonna be redeemed.
I feel like she did, like, I don't know, I feel like she was trying to get rid of the clone. Like, I feel like when you work with somebody for that long, you should know if it's if that's actually
think,
them or not.
I think
but maybe you're right. Maybe she did just go in
you
for
want
the kill.
her to be
I don't know.
good, too bad, too
but,
hard.
like, okay.
You got what you wanted.
Listen,
don't be pedantic, Cal.
I don't know how knives work, okay? I've
can,
never stabbed somebody.
If you,
Hunter obviously has experience.
If you lunge someone with a metal spike off the second story down on someone,
well, that would at least break her aura.
That
I don't
would
think
fuck
it would
him
go
up.
through her head.
Like, she meant to hurt.
Okay.
Okay,
I
she
don't know.
meant to like
you guys can talk about
you don't
that. Like,
swing at someone with being like, just a little bit, you know. She was like, no, I'm gonna get blood on my hands.
You guys can discuss that whether the knife would have went through Blake's skull and her aura.
Okay,
but
so maybe now I forgot about the aura, but it definitely meant to hurt.
It did mean to hurt, but I'm saying it wouldn't go through her skull. It wasn't meant to kill. I don't think it wouldn't have killed her.
I think killing was the ultimate goal.
Well, yeah, but like that wouldn't have done it. It wouldn't have done the deed.
It would have fucking helped.
Okay, yes, but like there are a lot of things in this fight that could have been assistance.
Don't be pedantic.
I'm just saying.
Continue.
Whatever. You guys can talk about that. Would the knife go through Blake's skull?
They won't because they're not insane like you, or at least I dearly hope
Anyway,
not.
I love the return of the piano scales.
The piano scales
nice
never went away. They stayed that, and I loved it.
Listen, we haven't had a fight scene in a while, so it was like they were returning.
It has been a bit since like a good proper fight scene, and I feel like the Weiss fight scene on the ship was kind of meh, so this was great.
Okay.
It was a really good fight scene.
Oh, okay. So that bounce back move was nice. I don't know if you guys know what I mean, but Blake draws Ilya towards her and then kicks her in the stomach, and Ilya goes like whoosh, like, and it's like great. Ilya just falls to the floor, and it's great. Anyways. And so Blake does accept that like hurting people is effective, but that doesn't mean that it's right. Which I'm glad that she said that. No, because it does work. But you shouldn't do it. Like, it's not nice. You know what I mean?
It didn't even say... it felt less that, like, she said, like, I don't care if it works. Like, it's like, whatever thing you have to say about this, I don't excuse it. You know? It's...
Because, like, she knows it works because she was in the White Fang. So she knows that it works, but now she knows it's not nice. It
hasn't really proved to her that it's worked.
If anything, we don't know with Remnant's history, right? So in the past, it could have.
on RWBY, in RWBY, if anything, empathy had worked. For her, for Weiss.
Yeah, but we don't know what the White Fang has been doing. You know what I mean? And so like.
I guess she had said before that, and it worked.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I dug it. Yeah.
And we have to also remember that it worked for her with those girls, right? She just punched them in the face and destroyed them.
Well, clearly not.
What do you mean?
Because they hurt, but that doesn't make them not racist anymore.
No, but it made her feel better, and I think that's kind of like, or it made them shut up, I think was kind of the intention, and that's what she wanted them to do.
I mean, not like her life greatly improved, she became like a child soldier.
Remember that Ilya, and I think even Blake to some extent kind of says this, but they just wanted people to be so afraid of them that they would respect them. Or have an illusion of respect, because it wouldn't be true
it's not
respect. You know what I mean?
Fear.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that's kind of where it would work, right? Because
which I guess is what
the girls would have never bothered her again if she punched them in the face. You know what I mean? They may do it behind her back.
And that's why she left.
They may do it behind her back, but they wouldn't do it to their face again if they're smart. Like, if somebody, like, I don't know, I was never physically bullied because I don't think that happens to girls a lot. Well, whatever. Anyways, that's just me. But if somebody beat me up, like, I'd never go near them again. And that's not me respecting them, that's me being afraid.
Like, don't you agree that only sort of proves people right in a lot of sense?
Well, yeah, it does, but, like, in her mind, she got what she wanted, and it worked.
Yeah, so I think that's the thing.
And that's Blake's point.
That's Blake's point, is
like,
that...
earlier in the volume, it's not true respect.
Yeah, it's not right. This isn't good. This won't actually change people. Yeah. They're just afraid of you. And I think later on, which we'll get to, but I'll bring it up now, and you can't stop me, she's just like, okay, guys, what we've been doing, we don't fight these people. We fight for good. We prove to them that we were right. And I really liked that message.
And even, like... Yeah, and so you're right, like, even before, like, in previous volumes, Blake has said the same thing. Like, it's gaining, like, a fake respect out of people being afraid of you, which doesn't make them, like you anymore, but it puts a band-aid on a temporary problem, let's say. Because you may be like, oh, but they never bothered me again, and then they're like, okay, but they probably also didn't change their minds about you, right?
Yes.
But for Ilia's purposes, not bothering them again, that was the best solution to her problem, let's say.
It was also, I feel like that also led her to be, like, on the lam.
Yeah.
So maybe, anyways.
And I do understand kind of, like, what she's doing, because even if you don't go about it the right way, if she was like, I just wanted them to leave me alone, and then they did, like, you know, it doesn't matter, like, the equation you use if you get the same answer, sort of thing. But then in Blake's mind, yes, it does matter, because it's not...
The means do not justify the end.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's kind of, like, I'm not supporting violence, guys. I'm just trying to explain that, like, it still works. That doesn't mean that you should do it. Like, it can solve a problem, but there are other ways to solve problems. Yes. You know what I mean? There are better and more morally correct ways to solve issues. But anyways. So, I really like the line where Ilia was like, I don't need another lecture, Blake, or whatever she said.
Yeah, she was like, I feel like this isn't the first time this
has happened. Oh, she did stop lecturing me, and I thought that was nice. And that makes me wonder, like, if there may be, like, a slight age difference, because it would be interesting if Blake was kind of Ilia's, like, mentor type for a while, and she's like, stop treating me like a child, Blake!
Maybe,
you know what I mean?
I also get the assumption that she's also been saying these same things to herself to some degree. So
I mean, Blake has also already, like, scalded her over and over again, right? Yeah. So it's, like, enough, like, stop, like, you know what I mean? But I also wonder if that was their dynamic in the White Fang. That was just some speculation on my part. Leave me alone. Also, I like how Ilia asked why she couldn't leave, and then Blake said, I run away too much. Like, I thought that was a nice, powerful line, you know? Yeah,
that was... I feel like I like the idea that Blake's able to forgive people very easily. Like, she forgave Ilia, but not able to forgive herself.
Okay, but here's my slight problem.
Yes.
Why did Blake think that setting the house on fire was the most effective way to find Ilia in the camouflage?
Presumably, you could have just turned on the lights, but hey, man.
Yeah, you could have just found the lights.
Listen, right? When you're, like, murdering your ex-girlfriend, will-she-won't-ly kind of girlfriend.
Okay.
Maybe
we gotta talk about that. We need to do it. We have to do a third ship video.
Oh my god. Just continue with it. We'll like...
As long as people keep watching them, I'll keep making them.
There will be 5. At least 5.
Okay. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I understand. Like, I'm not saying, oh, Blake, you're so stupid. How could... Like, that's another one of my, like, false complaints. You guys know I'm not being serious. I'm just kidding around, right?
I don't sometimes. You have the same veracity to this as you do. If someone killed your child, you are as angry as if someone took a
It's more funny than anything. That, like, I don't know, that she felt the need to burn things down. But, like, I like how she's also like, sorry, Dad. Like, she knows that it's not a good... Well, I mean, they're leaving for Mistral anyway. They don't need their house.
Like, sorry about this.
I don't know. I just thought that was funny. That amused me. That's all. Because, like, I don't know. Like, I would probably do the exact same thing. Because I am somebody that, like, if I needed light, I would literally pour gasoline on a fire. Like,
I know, and it's annoying to be around you for that.
Anyways. I think Smile starts playing sometime. I'm sure it does, but I don't know it well enough.
Have we gotten to the point where they've jumped on top of each other and they were crying on each other? And
I was gonna say...
that was my favorite part of the episode.
It was a fucking beautiful fight scene.
Oh,
like, it was
wonderful.
Great. Also, Fight Me Like You Mean It was such a good line. Like, her voice actor is so fucking talented. Like, I just want to have her babies.
No,
yeah, it's Jeremy.
Yeah.
It's,
Jeremy, whatever, Lynn. Or I'm maybe thinking of a different one. I don't know.
Yeah, she does Lucy in Fairy Tale and a bunch of other things, obviously.
She was also the SAO girl, Asuna.
Mm-hmm. But, like, she kills this role. Like, she needs to be nominated for, like, I don't know, a Grammy. Wait, hold on.
That's for music.
An Emmy, sorry.
Okay, Emmy's only for televised.
Yeah,
this is on the internet.
That doesn't matter.
Oh, Webby?
What if you could put it on TV, though? Like, what if...
The Anime Awards.
What if Cartoon Network started playing it? Could it then...
Maybe? Animated series on television? Yeah.
Yeah, could she then be nominated for Best Character or whatever?
Yes.
Okay, so there you go. Also, I'm pretty sure this... Like, Warner Brothers Japan has the rights, but Warner Brothers doesn't have a station, do they? So maybe it's on TV in Japan. So there you go.
I don't know. I think they're more American-centric.
I don't know, okay?
If
somebody
not,
tell
then
me.
That, like, lubed up stairway
the point
show
is,
should get every single
we gotta get RWBY on TV. That's all I wanted to say. Anyways, I like how Ilya also said when the humans attack us, our only choice is to attack back, because that's basically what Sienna's motto is, and less of Adam's. And so I wonder if Ilya really knows what Adam is doing at this point. Like, I wonder if she knows that Adam is going into slavery, because it sounds like...
Yeah, he sounds like he wanted to, like, start Jim Crow for humans.
Yeah, and
it's
so...
kind of fucked up.
I mean, even before that, because Jim Crow's was, like, 60s. 1960s.
No, it was every time after the Civil War up until about the 1960s.
No, but I'm saying like it ended 1960s. So I think a little further back, Hunter. But you understand what I mean, right? Like, because that is more of that's more of Sienna's ideology, and so I'm wondering now if Ilya knows that Adam is going to try to enslave humanity, because the way she said that, because later she says, like, you used to believe what I believed and what Adam believed, and she says that, but if that is what Adam believes, she is outdated on what Adam really thinks. Does that make sense?
Yeah, she may
And
not
so
know
I'm wondering if she actually knows.
He's becoming.
Because again, if you take that line like, okay, so we have to fight back or whatever, like Sienna basically says that, and that's fine.
Sienna, I think I brought this up, but I felt like they shouldn't have killed off Sienna, especially just with how eloquent she was in, like, defending the White Fang politics, and then by extension a lot of the things that
I think that will go to Ilya, but I feel like we're gonna get to that. But yeah, I don't know, like, it just gave me the vibe that she doesn't, because she, like, if she wanted to say, like, what she believed and what Adam believed, she would be like, Blake, our only way is to enslave humanity. Like, no. Like, she didn't say that. She said fighting back, and that was Sienna's thing, and so I wonder if she knows. Anywho's, I am so glad that Ice actually did something. And I don't want to say it like that, but, like, it felt like that elemental attacks didn't do anything to weapons before. Yeah, like, it didn't fucking matter.
Ilya's fishing rod.
Yeah, and I thought that was interesting. I appreciated that. Good job, Rooster Teeth. And so then we get to Blake pinning Ilya down on the floor.
Oh my goodness.
And then Blake,
they were crying.
And then Blake
like,
saying that there's wrong
like...
choices, but they were good, like, she was a good person and everything. And so, okay, so I'm gonna, like, I had some dirty thoughts during this scene, and I'm a horrible person.
Whenever you see it, yeah, no, I looked at you and I was just like,
but Blake, like, pinned her, and I was just like, Anyway, no, but that was a very serious... Also, Gira just walked in on that, and Gira must have been like, what the fuck is my daughter doing? Like, what is going on?
Just the lines that they were throwing back at each other and the crying. The second that happened, I'm like, okay, she's going to be redeemed. But also, it was like, oh, it was so lovely, and then just, like, Finnick goes flying through the
wall, yeah. Okay, I still can't tell them apart, but whatever. One of them's dead, so who gives a shit?
The Fox, the Corsix, I don't fucking know. Then he just goes flying, and then there's, like, Gira running in with a shirt on, like a maniac.
And then he looks at Blake, and he's like, Blake! Like, Blake is in so much fucking danger. Like, she's on top of her.
Also, like, Ilya, like, kicks her across the room.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
I thought Gira was gonna die, because he gets, like, a sword stub.
He's okay.
Stabbed in his, like...
He just needs some disinfectant, because, like, who knows where those kids have been. But here's something else I was gonna say, okay? So, Finnick or Corsic, one of the twins is like, Ilya, what are you doing? Like, start fighting. But, like, first of all, her weapon's frozen, and she doesn't have it on her. Second of all, like, what the fuck? Like, what is she gonna do? Like, I know she's good at hand-to-hand combat. Like, she's shown that she's capable, but, like, she doesn't have her weapon, and Gira is literally, like, he's probably twice her size in every way possible. And I mean every way possible. So... I don't know. Like,
when you say that, it makes me seem like, okay, so Gira has a bigger dick than his daughter? Is what you're saying?
I said Ilya, though. We're talking about Ilya.
So Ilya has a smaller dick than Blake's dad.
I meant, like, weight.
So, okay.
I didn't want to call him fat.
He's not fat,
though. He's like, buff.
Big dude. He's buff. He's huge.
That's what I'm saying. He's like,
heavy. Now I just imagine Ilya with a penis, and I'm just like, did that happen in conversation?
People have drawn that, though.
Like, of course they have.
Futa,
yes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I just imagine Blake being like, you know, that's impressive, Ilya, but it's not as big as my dad.
Also,
and then Ilya just being like, the fuck you say?
I don't know why, but Futa reminded me of furries, and just real quick, somebody was like, hey, I bet Hunter would lose his shit if somebody paid to do his Y video, and I was just like, it was a Y shipping video with one of the actual human characters.
What?
And I was just like, okay.
Y shipping?
What do you mean?
What's
Like,
the Y
shipping Zwei with
Oh!
a female
I thought you said
character.
why, and I'm like,
No,
why?
Zwei!
Oh, Jesus Christ. The weirdest ship I've ever seen was RWBY and her gun, her weapon, Crescent Rose.
I think the
like,
ones with the Grim and the Grim have,
oh, the
like,
Grim
penises
tentacle
are a
ones
bit
were
weird.
crazy, yeah.
Anyway,
but no, I still think it's weird because she's like, not only was she like masturbating with it, but it was also like, I have an emotional connection to you, Crescent Rose.
That's nice.
This scythe. It was weird. She like did it with that thing that she like ha-kunk with it, you know?
Corsic got his ass beat, and then Finnick got his ass beat, or maybe that's not the right order.
Okay,
I don't know, because I can't tell them
before
apart.
we should mention that, like, Blake and Sun were not Blake, Ilya and Sun were having a moment against, like, they were fighting, like, struggling against a pillar. Well, you almost said they got his ass kicked. We're not done.
Yeah, but like,
okay, I don't know your notes.
So Sun does this like little squint at Ilya, like as if like don't move or anything. But then Ilya gets bodied and like slammed into a fucking pole or something. But Ilya does have this little smirk when she thinks she bested Sun, and I think that's gonna be the thumbnail for this video because it was the best thing I've ever. Like my heart, like you know, I'm in love with her, Hunter. Like why can't she be here instead of you?
Fuck you too.
Anyway.
If she was a real person.
Anyways, so that happens. But Blake is a sad little kitty, and she's like, no, Sun, like, stop, please.
Also, you're missing out. The banister is about to fall on Ilya. And then
okay.
I yelled, it was like, they're gonna bury the gay.
I know.
Literally bury the gay.
I know. So if you guys watch her reaction, look forward to that. But I was just like, no! But anyway, I like how Gira jumped in to protect her, because I think that he understood that she was like, basically just his daughter, but just more misguided. You know what I mean? Because his own daughter came back to him, you know? And he probably had some connection with Ilya, because he used to be leading the White Fang before all this shit went down, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, literally burying your gays. I feel like that was kind of a nod to Rooster Teeth, like, at Rooster Teeth, saying that she wasn't about to die.
Yeah.
Yet, because he wasn't, like, we're not gonna bury our gay. Like, I feel like that was how they said it, you know what I mean?
The last moment, like, because it was a literal burial of the gay, and also, you know, then for a second it's like, oh no, is Gira gonna die? Then Sun helps out.
I really like that Sun did something useful with his clones. Because Blake can't do that, right? Because her clones aren't...
shadow people.
Her clones aren't, physical? I don't want to put it
just
that
like
way. Yeah, they're, and like, even her ice ones that we see in Volume 2, like, they're not movable, right? And so she would have to go under there, summon her clones, and then come back, whereas Suns are free moving and can do whatever he wants, which I think is really a good use of them. So Finnick slides and Finnick dies. I think it's Finnick. I have no fucking idea.
Of course, Finnick Fergus, who fucking knows.
And so, yeah, Finnick's dead. I thought that was good. Like, I thought that was good. I don't know. I knew that we would need a sacrifice here, and I think that was a good one because
it wasn't the person I thought was gonna die, but if it had to be anyone, I guess I'd take him because I'm starting to love everyone.
And
else
I really like the dynamic that they had as twins, right? That they're related and they're actually family, whereas the White Fang just like pretends that they're all brothers, right?
He says brother, like,
they actually had a blood connection. You know what I mean? And so I feel like that's super powerful. And then, at first I was like, wait, why did it explode? And then I realized it was Sun's clones. He exploded. So this is basically all Sun's fault. Anyway. He may have still been okay under there if the building just fell on him, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Anyway. So I like how Callie dragged Uma and just, like, showed everybody that she bodied him and then just tossed him on the floor to hug Blake.
We also mentioned that, Finnick or one of them was about to, like, kill someone and then Ilya stopped them. So
well,
we do know
just
that
gonna
Ilya's
say
totally
that, so
like,
yeah.
okay, but that already happened.
So and then Ilya starts crying after she hurts Corsic because like Corsic is about to like you're gonna pay for what you did like and then Ilya kind of wraps him around with her thing and then she starts crying and I feel like that's super powerful as well. Like all of Ilya's stuff is just great. Anyway, we're so professional here.
Good Lord.
I like how Gira is carrying out the possibly dead or wounded. We don't really know what happened to the guys protecting him. Like, we saw them got bodied, but they may still be alive. They may have just been knocked out. But, like, I think there was, like, massive casualties here.
You get the assumption.
I was glad that Blake started doing her speech, but something else that I wanted to mention was I really like how that guy asked if it was worth it. to Finnick. Or to Corsic. I think Finnick is the one who's dead. But I like how he asked that to him. And so one of the guards turns to Finnick and he's like, well, was it worth it? And I feel like that kind of mirrors a past episode where Blake was kind of like, look where it's gotten you. Like, was it worth it? Sort of thing. And so I feel like that was really nice. And I think that may also call for... Okay, well, two things are going to happen with Corsic, I think. He's either going to go crazy...
Or we never see him again.
He's gonna, like, end up in prison. Like, they're gonna throw him in prison, probably.
Even unless he busts out. If there's, like, a counterattack.
But I'm saying he's either gonna realize that what he and his brother, like, was doing was wrong, or say that he can't let his brother die in vain, and so he needs to fight harder. You know, it can only go those two ways. Like, it's those two extremes. He either stops altogether because his brother's, like, death is too much to bear, almost, or he doesn't stop at all because then his brother's sacrifice would be for nothing. You know what I mean? And I'm leaning towards the second one. I think that he'll be like, that he can't let Finnick's sacrifice for the cause go to,
I don't
like,
think that
be in
guy
vain or
would
anything.
just, like, switch over so easily.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think he's gonna go deeper into an extreme, and I think that would be very interesting. But I don't have enough thought about that to do a whole video about it. That's what I'm saying now. Anyways, so I like that Blake finally got to do her fucking speech. Like, we've been teased about that twice by now, I'm pretty sure. Because Ilya interrupted her, and then somebody else interrupted her, like, I was salty. I like the line that you want a simple answer to a complicated problem.
I feel like that was later on when she's doing her big speech, I believe.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, okay, sorry, I'm totally dead. I just love that line, and it's also just...
It's just true.
Yes, it is true. I've heard that said sort of before, but it is a really important thing to always remember. Oftentimes.
Also, I feel like this was a nice Christmas episode. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a Christmas
this is all
episode,
I wanted for...
but this is all I wanted for Christmas. Exactly. Like, you know. Anyways, and so I also like that Blake says that we did this to ourselves, and by doing nothing, we let others act in our place, and then at that point, we have no one else to blame, like, but ourselves, because we didn't step in. And so she's kind of talking about being a bystander, which I think that Yang is gonna be really impressed with Blake's transformation. Like, she's basically coming home a new woman. You know what I mean? And so I feel like Yang is gonna be really amazed by that, because, okay, so imagine, just picture it, okay? They're at the docks of Mistral or whatever, and Crow hears, like, in advance that there's this giant team of faunists and they're doing their stuff. Like, I don't know how that message would get across, but maybe Gira sends somebody in advance. Yeah, something like that, because the last messenger didn't make it, we know that. But then Crow is like, okay, like, kids, I got a surprise for you, alright? Because, you know, even though we got some huntsmen to come take down the bandits, I think that we're missing one more. And so... then they go to the docks or whatever, and it's just this, like, mass of people who are following behind Blake's son and Ilya, and, like, Yang sees that, and she's like, wow, you know, like, and I'm like, that's kind of gay. But anyways, so, more on that line of thinking, though, I feel like, now I'm confused at where they are in the timeline, because now it's 2 weeks until Adam attacks, right?
Yes.
And before it was a month last time we checked in with Team RWBY. So
maybe they just spent a lot of time trying to get people, like, involved in a non-violent way. So
I feel like what's gonna happen is that we're gonna do the bandits thing, or whatever Raven is doing, right? Mm-hmm. Then we're gonna then Blake and her, maybe like,
Blake's thing
militia.
Will show up last moment.
Yeah,
like,
kinda. Or not even at the last moment, but they realize they're, like, quote-unquote tricked by Raven, in terms of Crow and them, and that Raven is, quote-unquote, working with the bad guys again, quote-unquote, and they start to rally their forces at the school because they know when Adam is going to attack, and then sort of, like, a couple days before Adam attacks, they just all come on the boat. Like, I don't know, it's weird, because I'm, like, now I'm like, okay, so is Blake in the future? Because I'm still a little lost, like, in terms of where things are being placed right now, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
There's one thing I have difficulty with their, I guess with her speech at the end. It was like the part where it's like, you did this to yourself. I'm like, the faunists didn't ask to be persecuted against.
No, but I think that she meant, like, they burned the house down. in a way.
Oh yeah,
because remember that they didn't prosecute Corsic and Finnick because they didn't have enough evidence.
So I think maybe it could be more than like this is.
I don't think they meant you were to blame with other people being like no, it wasn't that. It was that the house
like, this
burning.
Is what happens when
all of the people were watching this spectacle, right, of the house burning down, but they had no one to blame for themselves because they could have stopped it, but they didn't trust, like, they didn't believe Corsic and like, we don't know what kind of, like, judicial system that they have or anything, you know what I mean? Like, we don't know if the entire continent took a vote, or if it was just a couple, like, guys that voted, or whatever, like, a jury, but, like, I think that that's kind of what she means. I don't think she means, like, you are to blame for people being racist again, like, no. I think it was more like,
this is what happens.
This is what happens when you don't,
when you
like,
let
stand up. Exactly.
Because I feel like...
Because I'm pretty sure everyone knew Corsic and Finnick were fucking around. They just didn't want to do anything about it. Evidence or not, possible. Right?
I think maybe this has less to do with... I hope it has parallels, obviously, with race in the real world. I feel if, though, they've done... Ultimately, at the end of this isn't a cab of it, but obviously they've sort of moved to the point where it's like, I feel like RWBY's handled the topic of race well.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like also this is a bit different
but I feel like
because
this is
Menagerie is
about...
a small population, if that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like this maybe is more about... I don't understand what you're talking about with a small population.
No, I mean that, like, okay, so when Blake is talking to the people of Menagerie, she's asking, like, basically all these people that are in kind of one place to kind of, like, rise up against Adam, right? But I feel like that for our issues of racism, it's all over North America. Like, it isn't as easy to just rally people together and, like, kind of get rid of this one thing. You know what I mean? Like, to just get rid of Adam, because, like, we don't have anything like that right now.
I don't know if sense.
Like, we aren't just trying to assassinate this one guy. You know what I mean? To solve, like, the world's problems.
It's like, and then we killed Mr. Racism. Now everything's fine. I feel like I like this less as specifically about race and maybe more about just extremism of any kind, of radicalization, and that oftentimes it seems like the only option is violence, but I think it's always good to give peace a chance.
What I mean was just like
if you
that...
want to get John Lennon-y about it. No, I understand
that
what you're
Remnant
saying.
is a very different... Like, we have strayed away from a... Like, I don't want to say North American dystopia, but that's sometimes a lot of what fantasy is. It's either, like... before, like, it's sort of a Middle Ages, like, yeah, we're sort of in, like, we're basically in England, but we're not going to tell you that, like, in some fantasy stories, you know what I mean? But, like, I think it's more evident that Remnant is just a different planet entirely, because
that isn't supposed to be, like, drawn comparison.
Exactly, drawn in comparison, because, like, it's not like, okay, so, like, for our small town, like, that we live in, like, for Toronto, I just can't go out in the streets of Toronto.
Toronto is not a small town, but I digress.
No, like, our small, like, piece of the world. I was gonna use where we
Canada.
actually live, and I just didn't want to say that. But, like, for Toronto, right, like, we just can't go outside and be like, guys, like, you know, there's this Adam guy, and we gotta go get him. Like, there's nobody to go get, and so I feel like it's very different.
No, I feel like there's people to go get when it comes to race.
But not,
or just
like, not like that we can just get everybody, like, in Toronto and be like, okay, let's go, you know what I mean? Like, to
You'd
go
be able to get a lot of people
kill
to do
somebody.
I don't know if people would be okay with, like, mobbing a particular person. Anyways.
But, you know, you understand what I mean, though, right? Because Remnant is, I don't know, like, there's more...
honest to God, Cal, like, you're not doing a great job. I get it that you're saying it's not supposed to be like Earth, so you're saying we're not supposed to draw comparisons?
I'm just saying that, like, we cannot go outside and go kill someone.
Yeah,
like, that is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
like,
that
is not something that happens in our society anymore. We've kind of, I don't want to say we've moved past that, because I'm not going to say that they're wrong, but we're in a very different place. You know?
Anyways, I think it's done a good job at like, maybe less about
I
race,
just feel like we gotta remember it's different. Like, it's not our world, it's theirs, and their world operates differently.
If you look at it through the lens, maybe, of just radicalization in general and less about race, I feel like it works a lot better, and so that's what I'm doing. That's all I have to say.
But I'm just saying, like, it's not supposed to be a reflection of us. Like, they have their own world that operates in their own way.
I feel like
killing people is okay.
Fantasy can only ever really be, any art can only ever really be representation of us.
But, like,
really,
again, we can't just go out and go kill people that we don't like.
Yes, but people have done that to racial minorities.
I know.
As they're doing to honest people. People have also gone en masse to war against people with hateful ideologies. a la Second World War.
I know. But I'm saying, like, now. Like, you know
now
what I mean?
we still do that.
Because I think... I mean, not, like, we're not going out, though, because she's getting, like, random townspeople to go out and fight.
It's legitimized by a government. Like, they are a government.
But you understand what I mean, though.
I get, but yes, but I also don't think you understand what you mean. Like, I understand you're saying we don't go out, like, you and I wouldn't fucking do
it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, these people are regular people. Like,
but this is also, like, legitimized
people.
by their government. Like, that's who Gira is.
Yeah.
So really, this is just, like, regular soldiers. Like, hypothetically, although we'd be shit at it, we could be soldiers.
I mean, we could be, but we're not gonna do that, because we're not... I'm guessing the people in Menagerie aren't very trained. That's all that I mean.
Well, they also talked about training them on the way there.
Yes, I think that they did mention
Anyways,
that. They're gonna need some help.
Drop the shovel and let's keep on going.
What do you mean? I'm not trying. Like, I don't think I'm saying anything necessarily wrong.
No, it's just that you're over-explaining things. Let's continue.
Okay, whatever. Fine. I just wanted to talk about how this is just a different world, and we compare it too much to our current problems.
Well, because
and I know it takes inspiration from our current problems, but at the same time, it has its own problems. You know what I mean?
But they're parallel to ours.
I know that they're parallel, but that doesn't mean they're like we can't just copy-paste our solutions onto this world. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's kind of what stories are, really, just manifestations of our own.
Oh boy. Well, now you're just getting like pretentious about it.
No, I'm fucking not.
A little bit.
No, I'm not. What? Okay, coming from you, Captain Pretensions.
Because you understand what I'm trying to say. Like, people are trying too hard to be like, well, why can't they just do this? Like, why can't they just do that? Like, you know, but that may work for us, but they're living in a different situation.
Fair enough.
Is what I'm trying to say. Anyways. And so Ilya's "I'll stand with you" was great. That was a great line, and how it was delivered was also pretty great.
And she's also like
and then I like how she says, "If you'd have me," and then Blake is like, "Of course I would." She doesn't say that, I don't think. And so I was really mad at the guard guy during our reaction, because he was like, what, you're just gonna trust her or something? And Blake was just like, yes, like, or whatever. And then they were like, Gira, what is she doing? Like, okay, like, Gira's gonna go police his daughter and be like, hey, honey, don't do that. Like, in front of the entire village or whatever. But Gira's like, no, she learned a lesson that I should have learned long ago. And so that also makes me wonder if something happened between him and Sienna and he couldn't forgive her, and so he left, and, like, all this shit happened, and so now it's
a lot of it. Honestly,
reflective.
I'm sad with how little of Sienna we got. I hope that if they ever wrap up RWBY, they would do, like, Sienna and Gira, the younger years, or something.
Maybe.
I'd dig it.
Also, I really like how Sun pinched Ilya. Like, that was so,
no,
I don't know, that was such a Sun action.
I especially like the line, like, you stabbed me, which is incorrect. She impaled him.
Okay.
But I digress.
I don't know, I don't know how to explain it, but that was such a Sun thing to do. You know what I mean? That was just so in his character that it was just fantastic. And I'm pretty sure there are going to be some pissed off people that are like, Sun touched Ilya without her like, she stabbed him, okay? Like, he gets to pinch her, alright? Like, now they're even. It's fine. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure some people are going to be salty about that, though. But just to like, reiterate,
really?
I'm not salty.
Would people?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they would.
I feel like you may be.
They would be like, how dare Sun pinch Ilya like that? You know, he doesn't deserve to touch her. Like, there's just gonna be some angry people.
The ground.
In all seriousness, though, I do know that the RWBY Reddit today has not been very nice.
Really? To
this episode.
Why?
Allegedly. I don't know why. I didn't look because obviously we didn't watch it.
There was a lot of people who were like, oh, they're just gonna kill her and she's never gonna be redeemed. I'm like, you fucking idiot.
A lot of people on, on Twitter today were saying that the Reddit's kind of messy today and problematic. Oh. And so I didn't look because I hadn't seen the episode yet, and I still haven't looked.
So you don't know how it is?
I don't know. Okay. I don't know how it is,
That's
but apparently, I saw something, and it was like, people are gonna hate, like, on the episode no matter what they do, even if it's a good episode. And then somebody else replied, really like, oh, but that's just because hating things is popular right now, sort of thing. Like, people are just trying to be edgy. Like, there was this entire conversation on Twitter with a bunch of RWBY YouTubers, and I was kind of looking at it, and I was just like, yikes. Like, I don't go on the Reddit, because I don't give a shit, but anyways,
I don't use Reddit.
And so I thought that was really nice. I thought that, like, I don't know, like, that's weird to say, like, I thought that pinching was nice. Like, no, I thought that was just, like, Sun has gotten a lot of flack, and we've given him a lot of flack in the past. And so, like, we did this video on how Sun's characterization has changed, and I feel like this is an improvement to his character, because he wasn't really, like, cocky about it, and he wasn't being obnoxious. He was just like, there, now we're even. Like, it was a very
It seemed like weirdly wholesome and like
yeah,
weirdly
exactly. Like that was really like it seemed more like a really, friendship thing. Like if you punch somebody in the arm, like a
surprisingly
you know?
like adult way of handling things. Just like fuck it. Like now we're even. Like it seemed like it was effective. I liked it.
Yeah,
good.
it's like when you give your friends like birthday punches. You don't actually want to hurt them, but you kind of do a little bit.
You want to fuck them up. You
okay,
do it
but boys never did that to me because I'm a girl, and you don't hate girls, Hunter. Allegedly, I don't know. Anyways,
allegedly, do you think I'm like a wife beater? Fucking hell.
No,
right,
not you. Okay. Anyways, also I like how they're like, I got a ship captain that owes us a favor. Like, I like how Blake said that. That was a nice line. Anyway, that's kind of where we're ending things here this week. So if you guys enjoyed this video and our lengthy conversation about race, then you guys can join our Discord server.
And Cal calling me pretentious, which, fuck you. That's
patrons
all, what the fuck do you think stories are? They just sort of
I know what
reality.
stories are! I'm just saying that, like, they don't...
Oh, you're pretentious. Oh, fuck
Like,
off.
they don't have to mirror reality. Some people want to create their own reality.
They absolutely are!
They do!
Yes!
But we don't always have to. We don't always want to do
RWBY
that.
didn't invent racism. They just invented a new race to be racist towards.
Yes! What I meant was...
We know what you meant.
It's a fantasy world, okay? You want to get away from our current issues. And I'm not saying that we should be running away from our current lives or anything. But, you know, like, it's different.
Our current lives is shit. My God, I look at the news every day like,
We're in Canada. It's okay.
It's just, I look at everything that's happening in America and I'm calling you fuckers out. I'm just like, eventually it's coming here. Like, eventually.
Okay, but maybe we'll probably be dead to see that. Also, I want to end off the video on this. I saw that Hunter tweeted something this morning, and it was like, there's like an asteroid that is headed towards Earth, and all Hunter put was like, good. Like, he didn't even put an emoji or anything. That's all he put in. I was like, what the fuck? Like, are you okay? I know you have your exam. Like, what's wrong with you?
But then I read the article, and then they lied. It was like, no, it's gonna miss us narrowly, and I'm like, well, fuck off. Like, that's not what I wanted. I'm here for the immediate extinction of the human race. Round 2. We've done a shit job.
Anyways, right, I think that's a good place to end off, so we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye!